Most people think communication is about talking. They're wrong. Talking is cheap. Everyone talks. Communication is power. It's influence, along with timing, with proper framing. Reading the room before the room reads you is a must. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. Most arguments don't happen because people hate or even dislike each other. They happen because people are speaking different languages, but in the same language. Two humans with the same words. They're using completely different operating systems. You felt this. You explain something clearly. You even slow it down. You make it simple, and they still don't get it. Or worse, they get it and pretend they don't. That's not a communication problem. That's a perception channel mismatch. And if you don't learn how to spot it, you'll spend your whole life over-explaining your soul to people who can't receive it. There are 8 perception channels that shape human communication. Not IQ, not grades, not smart the way school measures it. I mean the real kinds of perception. The kinds that decide who gets respected, who gets ignored, who gets followed. And once you see these 8, you stop taking conversations personally. You stop getting trapped in pointless arguments. You stop begging people to understand you, and more importantly, stop worrying that they won't. Because you finally realize they aren't hearing what you're saying. They're hearing it through the filter of their own brain. So, let's dissect them. And even better, let's talk about how they show up when you talk. Let's talk about the first one, word perception. This is the obvious one. This is the person who can use language like a weapon. They can persuade, charm, disarm, humiliate. They can take a conversation and make it impactful and persuasive. At times with nothing but a sentence. These people win arguments without raising their voice. Not because they're always right, because they're sharp. They know tonality. They know rhythm. They know timing. They know how to make a point feel inevitable. If you're weak here, you say what you mean. And people still misunderstand you. If you're strong here, you say half of what you mean. And people fill in the rest. Their vocabulary matches their listeners. This perception channel isn't just about vocabulary. It's about control. You don't just speak, you also steer. Let's talk about the second one, logic perception. This is the person who communicates in structure. They are good at reasoning, problem solving, working with numbers and abstract patterns. They don't want feelings. They want proof. They want cause and effect. Steps, numbers, reasons. If you speak emotionally to a logic-heavy person, they'll look at you like you're unstable. And if you speak logically to an emotional person, they'll look at you like you're cold. Sarah's startup pitch failed not because her idea was weak, but because she brought emotional passion without detailed explanation to a room of CFOs who wanted 5-year projections filled with logic. One side says, "I feel positive and motivated." The other side says, "Name 3 examples. What's your evidence?" And now the room is on fire, because they're not even having the same conversation. One person is asking for emotional agreement, the other is asking for data. 2 different languages, same words, total collapse. The third one is visual spatial perception. This person doesn't just hear your words. This person prefers to use a mind map to visually organize the entire picture. They see your meaning all the way through. They like to use and see memes, images, and infographics along with textual explanation. They like examples, stories, and metaphors. You can explain something perfectly, yet if it doesn't paint a picture, they won't feel it and they will begin overthinking. They're the ones who say, "Okay, but what does that actually look like?" And they're creating the full outcome in their mind. They crave a full explanation through to the end. They like to anticipate outcomes, sometimes creating analysis paralysis. Having a high visual perception channel is noticing everything. Your posture, your eye contact, your hesitation. You think you're hiding anxiety? They already saw it. Before you finish your sentence, they don't just listen to what you say. They watch what your body confesses. The fourth is bodily or kinesthetic perception. It's like an actor embodying different psychological states such as shame or confidence through their posture, gesture, and movement in a play. Body perception is presence. It's the way someone sits, the way they walk, the way they don't flinch. Some people don't speak confidence. They radiate it. And the tragic part is this. Most people are communicating weakness with their body language while trying to communicate strength with their mouth. Slumped shoulders, fast speech, nervous smiling. Your body is confessing the truth behind your words. This doesn't mean being fake like an actor. It means high bodily perception makes it easier for these people to allow their body language to permeate and increase their ability to communicate. And the world trusts the body more than the mouth. On the phone, then this can be communicated through voice inflection, which connects with bodily movement and posture, while transferring energy and feeling into the ear of the recipient. You can lie with language. You can't lie with posture, and learning to use it with language is a skill that can be learned. The fifth is music perception. This one sounds irrelevant. It's not. Music perception is rhythm. It's tempo. It is the ability to play musical instruments and beyond. Ever wonder why some people can talk for 30 minutes, and it never feels boring? And some people speak for 10 seconds, and you want to escape through a window. They understand pacing, when to pause, when to speed up, when to hit a sentence, like a hammer directly on a nail head. This is why the best storytellers feel like they're hypnotizing you. They're not just speaking, they're conducting attention. They know when to let silence breathe. They know when to cut. They know how to make the audience lean in, without begging for it. On the other hand, some people can barely carry a conversation, much less talk in front of an audience. For some it comes natural, for others, a lifetime of trying won't help much. The sixth is people perception. This person reads humans like weather. This is interpersonal perception, the ability to understand and relate to other people. This is deeper than the Dale Carnegie How to Win Friends and Influence People type. They know what you mean before you finish the sentence. They sense discomfort, tension, hidden motives. They can walk into a room and feel who's lying. They know what someone wants before they ask for it. People perception is how leaders rise. They rise many times without being the smartest. We've all seen it happen. Because leadership is not logic. Leadership is emotional gravity. And if you don't have it, you'll accidentally insult people, confuse them, turn them against you, and do it without understanding why. You'll walk away thinking, "What did I do?" And they'll walk away thinking, "I don't like him." Not because you were evil, because you were unaware. The seventh is self-perception. This is inner awareness. This is intrapersonal perception, the ability to understand oneself. Most people don't have it. They think they do, but they really don't. Self-perception means you know what triggers you, what you're afraid of, what you're compensating for, what you actually want. This is the difference between responding and reacting. The person with low self-perception gets hijacked. They get defensive fast. They over-explain. They spiral. Not because the conversation is intense, but because their identity is fragile. The person with high self-perception is calm, because they know who they are. Self-perception means other people don't get to define them. And number 8 is naturalistic perception. This one is underestimated and primal. This perception is pattern recognition. It is understanding there is a correlation between human behavior and animal or ecological systems. It is the ability to understand and interact with the natural world. It's instinct. It is understanding natural systems. It's the ability to sense what's real and identify patterns. People with this perception notice cycles, energy shifts, and behavior patterns. Who is safe? Who is fake? They don't need evidence. They feel the truth. And yes, they're often right. These are the people who leave before the betrayal happens. The people who don't ignore red flags. The people who don't let potential blind them. They communicate simply, Because they're not trying to convince you. They're telling you what they already know. Why understanding these 8 changes everything? Now let's get to the real point. Communication isn't just skill. It's a translation. You don't need to be better at talking. You need to learn what kind of perception the other person speaks in. Because if you keep using the wrong language, you will keep losing. You'll keep explaining. You'll keep feeling crazy. But they're not confused. They just don't process meaning the way you do. And here's the darker truth. Some people understand you perfectly. They just benefit from pretending they don't. When they act confused, they're buying time. They're shifting blame. They're forcing you to over-explain so they can stay in control. Watch this. A healthy person who doesn't understand you will ask questions. A manipulative person who doesn't want to understand you will make you repeat yourself again and again and again until you feel small. That's not misunderstanding. That's domination. Here's the rule. The strongest communicators don't talk more. They talk clearer. They don't flood the room with words. They drop one sentence and let it echo. They don't chase agreements. They state reality. They don't beg to be understood. They make themselves undeniable. If you want communication that changes your life, stop trying to sound smart. Start trying to be received. Learn the 8 languages: words, logic, vision, body, rhythm, people, self, instinct. Because the moment you master translation, you stop arguing, you stop defending, you stop begging people to get you, and you start walking into rooms like someone who already belongs there. Not loud, not desperate, just precise. And precision is power. If this hits you differently than you expected, you know what to do. Take the Communication DNA test through the link under the video. No email required for results. Subscribe if you want more psychology that actually helps you see and understand yourself better. And leave a comment with one thing you're done feeling misunderstood about, because being misunderstood dies when you confront it in the open. If you've been feeling like you've been in the dark with your communication sometimes, you've been there long enough.